Hello, my fellow flawless, limitless, sexy, sassy, saucy HBICs. How are you on this lovely morning, afternoon, or evening? How are you all? I hope you're all doing fabulous. I hope you're all choosing to be the versions of yourself that have exactly what you want. I want to make this brief video today on something that can be life changing, most definitely reality changing. If whatever you're manifesting has you feeling confused, frustrated, disappointed, hurt, angry, all the things on this journey. And I see it a lot in manifestations that we have a very heavy importance on. In other words, if when we're manifesting love, when we're manifesting a specific person, manifesting money, whatever it may be that you have, some, we'll say, an upgraded level of importance on this thing happening. But sometimes, as we are putting the focus on being the self we want to be, if you're brand new to manifesting, I'm probably talking in hieroglyphics to you. But let me just say for this video, anytime you hear me say to be your new self, it simply implies that you are in the state of the wish fulfilled. And if you don't know what those are, you need to go read some books and do some deep diving. I've got plenty of videos that describe all these very basic, common phrases and words that we use in the manifestation community. So, the state of the wish fulfilled, it's the version of you, it's the state of you having your desire. So, when we use manifestation techniques to get us into that state of consciousness, when we fall back out and when reality is not showing us exactly what we logically or literally would prefer or what we believe should be happening as we're manifesting, we can feel frustrated and feel stuck. And for some of us, we equate that to, well, then I must not be in my wish fulfilled. I must not be in the right state. I must be doing something wrong. First of all, throw all that out. You think that because of fear, and you can change that. You can decide that's not true for you. In other words, on my channel, I say all the time that you really can't do anything to mess a manifestation up. But what you can do is have some influence on the linear time of your experience by getting into that wish fulfilled dominantly so that it therefore changes your dwelling state, your autopilot. So I stand by that. I'm still in agreement with that. I don't want anybody to confuse what I'm saying in today's video in regards to that. When we feel, let's say, for example, you have a circumstance that is frustrating, or maybe you even have had some amazing movement regarding your manifestation, and then boom, snap, crackle, pop, it seems like that movement has fizzled. So, to explain it better, let's just be honest. This is a video that I'm not going to be able to edit, but I do want to get it up today because I feel it's so important. So please bear with me. This isn't going to be a perfect video. There are plenty of other perfectly crafted videos on this internet, but it doesn't mean that this is any less helpful just because you're getting to see the mistakes. Okay. But to make it simple, when you're manifesting a specific person and you have any kind of history with that person and you're having a difficult time letting go of the past, number one, or if you're manifesting a specific person and you've experienced some amazing movement and you saw that movement as, holy shit, this is unfolding. Oh my God. For example, a specific person has been contacting me every single day. Here it is. Here's my manifestation. It's here. This is me experiencing it. And then boom, your specific person goes quiet again. In both of these scenarios, it is a version of us who is having a difficult time letting go of the past or letting go of current 3D reality as far as attachment goes. We're attached to what the 3D is showing us. So instead of berating ourselves and beating ourselves up, being frustrated, I think it's really helpful to remember that number one, we can be aware of what's happening in our reality. We can accept. We can accept what we're experiencing. Acceptance does not mean we are settling for less. Acceptance doesn't mean you're giving up. Acceptance simply means I'm going to surrender and stop fighting against my reality. I'm going to stop fighting with myself in regards to what state of consciousness I believe I'm in, and I'm surrendering it completely, because at the end of the day, truthfully, the only thing that ever really matters is meanings, the meanings we're giving things, as well as what state we believe we're in. You, as source, and that is who your true self is, consciousness, as source, your word is the authority of what state you're in. So if you claim to yourself that you are in the state of the wish fulfilled, then you are there. But when we look at reality and we think, well, my movement stopped, so something's wrong. No, but your perception that movement stopping equals something's wrong is why, number one, is why you're frustrated. And number two, yes, could that be pulling you out of the wish fulfilled? Absolutely. But again, that's where your authority of the word comes in. That's where you being source comes in. When I struggled with my own 3D, with my own SP journey, there were times that I was very frustrated with my reality and had a difficult time letting go of things from the past. And when I felt like I was in the heart and the heat of the struggle, I would surrender it completely and shelve it. Meaning, I'm not going to force myself to let go of things. I'm not going to force myself to love the reality the way it looks right now in this moment, the way I think I'm perceiving it. I'm surrendering it. I'm not going to fight with it. I'm not going to fight with my thoughts. I'm going to tell myself I don't have to think about that right now. You allowing yourself to take that momentary break, you allowing yourself to not sit and marinate in what is upsetting you or in the thoughts of the past, and you in that moment just saying, you know what, I don't have to think about this right now. I'm gonna let myself have a break. Guess what? That's not you pushing it down and pretending to be okay with something you're not okay with. It's just you allowing yourself to remember who you are choosing to be, and your heart's intention is what matters. If you know in your heart of hearts that you intend on being in the wish fulfilled and you're doing your best to get there and stay there as long as possible, it's working. You're doing everything right. And you really don't need to do anything else. And when you're already worked up and stressed and are frustrated, the best thing to do is to absolutely take that break, to not force yourself to keep wrestling with thoughts, emotions, and feelings. The best thing to do is to say, I shelve it. I surrender it. I'm taking a break. I'm not going to think about this anymore. And then when you're feeling more centered, more calm, more relaxed, that's when you ask yourself why we're still holding on to the past, why we're upset by how we're reading 3D reality. Because remember, how you perceive things is telling you what state of consciousness you're currently embodying. So when you think things are going backwards, or the movement has stopped, or you're just frustrated with yourself in that moment, take the break, recenter yourself, whatever that means to you. Recentering myself is just closing everything out and taking a break, whether that's popping on YouTube for a minute to watch something other than manifestation content. I'll do it. I walk away for a minute or however long it takes for me to just to feel chilled back out. You know, we hear that phrase nervous system regulation all the time. Is that nervous system regulation? Yes, nervous system regulation is absolutely helpful. but not if you're using that against yourself. If you're using nervous system regulation as another requirement that you have to do, so every time you feel anxious, you're worried that your nervous system is all out of whack and that you're ruining your manifestation, then you're putting that added pressure on yourself that isn't necessary, because even nervous system regulation is something that was manifested by source. Remember, everything we know, everything we believe, everything we assume is after, is an add-on, a limit. And by limit, I don't mean in a negative way. Some things are negative, right? Some things are. We don't like to think bad things about ourselves. But I'm saying your source first, your pure unadulterated consciousness first. Everything else is an added on layer. Everything, good and bad, a layer. So if you know at the end of the day that's who your true self is, pure unadulterated consciousness, choosing to be here to have a physical human experience, knowing your source is the only thing that matters, truthfully. You can transcend anything simply because your source. So the past that you're having trouble letting go, again, maybe your specific person, you guys had some circumstances, maybe your person hurt you or frustrated you and broke your trust. Maybe your person did that to you more than once. And maybe you think that because you tried to trust that person again and they let you down again, you're protecting your heart so that you don't look like a fool again. Listen, I know those stories, and they feel difficult to let go of, but they're not. They're not. As in, I know they feel difficult, but I'm saying they're not stuck to you. You're not stuck in that version of yourself. You might feel like you are, but you're not, because your source, and source can transcend all because source is all. Again, if you're brand new to manifestation, probably sounds cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I suggest you go watch some other videos. I have plenty on my channel that will help you understand what I'm meaning when I say your source. You have to think. The thinker comes before the thought, right? Beingness comes first. The being itself, who you are. The eyeballs come before the sight. We interpret it in a way that those things might come first. So, like a sound comes before hearing. The ability to hear, the being hearing comes first. Source is first. So, if you're feeling frustrated with not being able to let go, or the ability to not trust your person is still hanging around, and maybe you're fearing this is going to be the one thing you're never going to be able to get over, yes, you can, but not by force. So give up the fight. Give up the fight. Stop fighting with the past. Stop pressuring yourself that if you don't forgive in a certain amount of time, this manifestation is going to take forever to get here. It's not true. You're thinking small and you're thinking human. You're thinking logical. You are source first. All things can be transcended because of who you are. So don't force yourself to let go of things. Quite frankly, you just simply deciding that you are the version of yourself that finds it easy to let go, finds it easy to forgive the past. You're going to wake up one day absolutely in that state of consciousness and realize that you haven't let it bother you in a really long time. Again, this not my. Oh, I told you there was going to be mistakes here. Like you hear my dog walking all around the house and going up and down the stairs, as well as her now drinking water. A lot of extra noises with the washing machine on. I'm sorry for all that, but I really feel this video has to go up. I really feel like you need to hear this message. Also, to those of you who've experienced amazing movement and then boom, the movement stops, it is not because something's wrong. But your perception that there must be something wrong because it stopped, that is something we want to decide differently on. We don't always know exactly how our manifestation is going to unfold. We might not always know. Did you just see that struggle? Truthfully, we really don't know. It's not sometimes we don't know, it's all the time. We don't know what we're going to experience on the unfolding, on the bridge of incidents. But what you also need to remember is you experiencing your unfolding, you experiencing the bridge of incidents. You see, that is you already living the manifestation. I think most people in this community view reality as when my manifestation is physically here, when the money is fully in my bank account, when the specific person is sitting next to me on the couch, that's when my manifestation is here. And I say, nope, nope. The minute you said yes to the desire, to what you're manifesting, to the loving, fulfilling, committed relationship with your person, to the money, to the career, to all the things you're manifesting, that millisecond you said yes. From that point on was you living the manifestation itself, every part of it. You might not see that clearly from the state you might be in this moment, but ponder that for a moment. Really think about that. You're not waiting for it to get here. You're living it right now. Try not to apply logic. Accept reality as it is in this moment, but you are not accepting it from defeat. You are not saying yes to the universe. I want more of this shit. You are not saying, yes, universe, don't send me what I want anymore. I give up. I give in. Nope, it's not what that message is. The message is, I surrender my logical, literal, pre planned ideas of how reality should look. I surrender it. I surrender to fighting with circumstances. I surrender to fighting my mind over forgiving the past or getting over the past. I accept what I see in reality, and I accept that I don't understand why this circumstance is here or why I feel like I'm struggling to let the past go. I accept that I am source, pure unadulterated consciousness, whatever you want to call it. I accept that I'm source, and I accept that whatever I'm experiencing must be somehow, some way connected to the fulfillment of my desire. I accept that. I surrender my pre planned ideas. Please, I highly suggest you do that. Listen, every single one of us, when we're manifesting, we think reality should look a certain way for us to feel comfortable, to feel safe that our manifestation is working. And that's just the thing. If you've already said yes to the desire and you know that you are daily deciding to be that version of yourself, to be in that state, then whatever circumstances you're living is you experiencing a reality where you will have your desire. And by using certain words like will have, going to, they don't matter unless you think they matter. Sometimes I think this shouldn't be called the law of assumption, and it should be called the law of meanings, the law of beings, something other than law of assumption. Well, does that really matter? Probably not, but everything really is based on the meanings we're giving it. So when you think, oh my God, I was just having an amazing movement and now I'm having nothing, what meaning are you giving that? That something's wrong? That you're doing something wrong? Or you're not going to get what you want? Because that's a bunch of crap. But because you keep giving it that meaning, I bet you're experiencing evidence that's telling you that something's wrong, something's not working. Doesn't mean any of that. Remember who you are. Accept reality Surrender your pre planned ideas, surrender the struggle, surrender the fight, and concern yourself with calming yourself down and remembering who you are, your source first, then identity. And you get to choose which version of that identity you are living in. You have more power than you think. And if you've been that person experiencing amazing movement and now it's quiet, I assure you, go back to putting your awareness on who you want to be. Nothing is wrong out here. It's leading to your outcome. Everything actually is leading to that outcome. I know it's not always easy to believe that. Listen, when you're not feeling great, when you're feeling frustrated, also please try to remember you feel that way because of your state. So when we think things aren't working, that's a particular state. States can feel sometimes like you're stuck in them. You're not. You're not stuck. Have you never had the experience of totally going to bed in a wonderful state, in a wonderful mood, and waking up in a shit one? Going to sleep feeling so confident that you're going to have your desire, and waking up suddenly worrying about it? You had a state shift overnight. It's not your fault. It can just happen. But you're going to shift back. You're going to shift back. We're not stuck. So, whatever you're experiencing in 3D reality, stop fighting with it. Give it the meaning that I simply don't understand how this connects to my manifestation, but it must be because I know I am the self. You fill in the blanks there. For SP peeps, I would say I am the version of self in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship with the most amazing version of SP's name. I am the version of self that can easily forgive and transcend my past. I surrender that past. I choose to focus on the future I'm creating, the future I'm choosing. That's the version of myself that I am. I choose to focus on being the version of myself that only calls in the most loving, faithful version of my specific person, your source. And those words are the authority of the same source that created everything. You're using that every day, that imagination of yours. It's the word of God, of source. You're stuck in nothing. Nothing is wrong. Remember who you want to be. So on that note, I will see you tomorrow.